Hey, it's Maggie, and I am here to talk to you about my knitting from the past month. Yeah, I don't really have much to say as far as an introduction goes. It is summertime here. And it has just started getting very hot. So normally I'll say that you'll hear the train in my video. But today you're definitely going to be hearing our air conditioning because it is working overtime trying to keep our home cool. Chicago, like a lot of the country, is going through a heat wave right now. So it's kind of miserable being outside, and it has also been not amazing to knit outside. Usually I bring knitting things with me everywhere and I knit everywhere. That has not been the case lately. I am pretty much exclusively doing all of my knitting at night after my kids go to sleep. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm Maggie. I am a knitter and a knitting teacher based out of Chicago. I'm a mother, I have 2 children, and this is my monthly knitting podcast where I talk about everything that I have knit in the past month. And here we go, here's June. Also, I just want to say, nothing hits harder than a Diet Coke in the summertime. Really anytime. Who am I kidding? I love Diet Coke. Anyways, here we go. The first thing that I'm going to talk about, which I'm not wearing because it's so hot, is my Lakes pullover. Here she is. If you've been here from the beginning, I mean, we're only episode 3, so I'm guessing that many of you have been here from the beginning, but you'll know that this Lakes pullover has, I don't want to say challenge, but kind of challenge. I decided to knit it off gauge because I found this yarn at YarnCon, which is a yarn festival here in Chicago. That was back in April, mid-April. And I really fell in love with this color. I still think that it's so beautiful, but my first problem was that the way that the yarn was dyed from the first skein that I was knitting with, some of the, where they tie the yarn together, the dye wasn't able to get through and penetrate. So there were a bunch of spots, a bunch of white spots that the yarn was undyed. And so I had a bunch of white spots. They looked like little bleach spots all over the front. And my plan was that I was going to duplicate stitch over a bunch of them. And I did do that. And I think that it worked really, really well. Surprisingly, super well. You can see on the inside, I didn't tie or I didn't weave in any of the ends because what I have learned from knitting this, knitting off gauge, is that when someone designs a pattern and they give you a suggested yarn to use, that you should really either use that yarn or try to match it as best as possible if you are hoping to get the same product in the end. This was not the right yarn for this project. I'm feeling kind of sad because I feel like it just needs to be frogged, and I either need to buy a 4th skein so that I have enough to make a full something with proper gauge. It's just too loose yeah, it sucks. I'm disappointed. I love the pattern. I'm definitely going to knit it again. I think that if I knit this in a color, not a color, but with a yarn that is like the suggested yarn or something comparable, then I will be very happy with it and wear it all the time. That's my guess. As it stands right now, I wouldn't wear this. The neck is huge. When I put it on, it's very wide. I like a very close crew neck most of the time, and you can see with like this t-shirt that I'm wearing, I prefer a close crew neck. And it just looks a little sloppy to me. I'm disappointed. I wish that I had just like bought a 4th skein and used smaller needles and made better choices. It was a good learning experience. It's like I say that I wish I had done it, but I guess I'm also glad that I did it this way, because it is such a good example to me to use the proper fiber. Really think more critically about the yarn choice. So, yeah. I had gone to YarnCon with the Lakes pattern in mind, that I wanted to knit the Lakes pullover, and I wanted to find yarn to knit the Lakes pullover, and I found this yarn, and it was it was expensive, and rightfully so. It's like American wool. It is milled in America. It is dyed in America. Like, they could show you, they could trace it, and so it's like that. It costs more money to produce wool, traceable wool, in the United States. So I scrimped, and I only bought 3 skeins because I felt like I was close enough to the yardage that I could just make 3 skeins work and do something cropped if I was running out of yarn. But I should have bought 4 skeins. I should have knit it tighter. This was sport weight, or maybe even, is it fingering sport DK? It was smaller than what the pattern required, I think. So I knit it with larger gauge. I don't love the fabric either. I like something a little more dense. This is very open. I thought that it might be better for summer, because then I could wear it like on a cool summer night and that it would be more breathable, but I just don't think it worked out. You know, the best laid plans. So, but it is finished, and you can see what it looks like, but I don't think I'm gonna wear it. It's stretched out even more with blocking this neckline. And yeah, I just think I have a couple of things that I've made recently that are going to go like immediately into a frog and make something else pile. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next is something that I cast on and bound off since the last time that I made a video. I don't think that they watch, but if you are my brother-in-law or my sister-in-law, look away. I'm very excited. We are adding another baby to our larger family. My sister-in-law, my husband's brother's wife, is pregnant. They're expecting their first baby, and I am determined to make this little baby a hand knit wardrobe that anyone would envy. And I am planning on giving them the majority of the knits at their baby shower. The baby is due in November. So I've gotten a head start because I just want everything to be ready. And I knit the mini Woodwardia from the minipom book. I love this book. I also made Truffle the pig out of this book last month for a different baby. But I made this for my new soon-to-be nephew, and I love it. It's so cute. It has these really cute pearl accent details here on the raglan increases. I just think it's so sweet. I did do some modifications to this. I have knit a fair amount of baby sweaters for my own children and as gifts for other people, and I prefer the look and of a double folded collar here. So that's what I did here. I added that. I also did 1x1 ribbing. The pattern calls for 2x2, and it's a flat neck. And then I do this with most of the baby sweaters that I knit. And I got this from the Micah's Raglan pattern by Hannah Graham, which is my usual go-to baby sweater that I knit for other people, because I just think that it's a beautiful sweater, and it also has really smart details for baby knitting, baby gift knitting. And one of those is that she has you knit the cuff times 2 basically in length, so that you can fold it over here, and that it gives you a little bit of longevity as the child grows, that the cuff can become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it is just sleeve here. And I love that detail. So I put that in every kid knit that I make. This has not yet been blocked. I like to batch my blocking so that I can block a couple of things at once, just because it's not that labor intensive, but it's enough that I don't want to do it every single day. So, oh yes, so this is the mini woodwardia. I knit it in Malabrigo Rios, which is a superwash yarn, worsted weight yarn. This is also kind of my go-to for kid knits for other people's children, people that maybe are not as like woolly as I am, or into wool, or might not know how to care for wool. I also think because, you know, of the risk of like stains and food and whatever that comes with all babies, that gifting something superwash is kind to do. So this is the Eucalypto colorway, and it's just this really nice kind of like spa sage green color, and I really like it. I'm really so pleased with it. Another cute detail of this sweater is that they have you do some pearls on like almost as this like kind of faux seam from the wrist all the way down the body. It's kind of cute, but yeah. I knit the smallest size, I think, for this. No, size 1? I can't remember. Let's see. Size 1, which they say fits 0 to 3 months, but I feel like I knit this like with a 6-month-old up to 6 month in mind. Yeah, I'm really excited. I have a fairly long list of things that I want to knit for this baby, and I'm going to knit them a cardigan next, And yeah, I think I have 2 skeins of yarn that I think I will turn one into like a newborn size cardigan, and then I will use the remainder of the yarn to knit whatever size I have enough yardage for the future. My sister-in-law went through all of my knitting stuff and she picked out a couple of patterns that she really liked. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about a new baby, and that's all I have to say. It really was no drama. It took me no time at all. I knit this, I don't know, in a couple of days, pretty much. It did take longer than it would have because I ran out of yarn. I had to order another skein, which I wasn't expecting. So I do have a little bit of extra here that I need to weigh and estimate yardage, because I was thinking I might make a hat or a bonnet or something with this. Next is, okay, my very last thing. I feel like this month wasn't a huge finishing month for me. I've had the preschool that my son goes to ended in May, so I've had a lot more time with both of my children where I've had to, care for both of them. So I haven't had as much knitting time from that. And then I have also just been working a lot, teaching classes and spending a lot of the time that I would be knitting prepping for those classes. I'm restructuring a few of my kind of like beginner knitter classes, and it's taking a lot of time to figure out how to do that. So I just didn't have as much time to knit this month as I normally do or wish I could have. So I decided there is someone that I follow online who has a great collection of hats. And every time that I see, or like, because I have had some kind of like longer term projects and I just needed something quick and satisfying to like go on and off my needles, and I am prepping for my fall classes and trying to decide what I'm going to teach for fall classes. Very often I get requests from people that want to learn how to knit in the round. And so I thought a hat would be perfect for that. And then there's this influencer that I follow on Instagram who always has these amazing chunky knit hats. And so I saw her hat. I tried to look on Ravelry to find something that I thought matched, and I found what I thought was the perfect match. But it was a paid pattern. And I just felt like for what it was, that I didn't want to pay $9 for it. I thought I could probably hack it myself, but I don't have the confidence to do that quite yet. And so I did more and more searching on Ravelry, and finally I found the Ludlow hat, which was published, I believe, in Laine magazine, and it called for like a super bulky or a super chunky or something yarn, and I chose Malabrigo Rasta in this really pretty blue color, modeled after the person that I follow online. I wanted a hat that looked like hers, and so I made this, and I have decided that this is going to be the hat that I teach in my class. It's really cute on. It has fit both of my kids and my husband, so I feel like the size like versatility is quite good. And yeah, I don't have much to say about it. Literally took me a day to knit. I've never knit anything in yarn this chunky. I'm not normally like a chunky yarn kind of person, but wow, it was satisfying. I could see myself knitting these as gifts for people because they take no time at all, really. And yeah, I followed the pattern pretty much exactly. It's not complicated at all. It's just 2x2 rib. I think they have you cast on something like 44 stitches, and then it's 2x2 rib all the way up until the crown. And then I believe that the instructions were that they have you like knit all your knits together, like knit 2 together and still keep your purls, and then the next row you purl 2 together. So you have like these 2 decrease rows, and I wanted something that was like a little more gradual than that, and so I think I did my purls. I did like a purl 2 together because I wanted to keep my knits, and then I just put all of the stitches through put the yarn through all the stitches at the end and cinched it up and then tied it. I also think this would be really cute with a pom-pom on it, if you're a pom-pom person. And yeah, just not too much to say about this, except that I was very pleasantly surprised by the entire experience. And I have ordered something like 4 or 5 more skeins to knit more as examples, and then some also, like a color for me, another color that I think that I would really like to wear, and then a couple of others to give as gifts. So yeah, this is my Ludlow. So cute, love it. I hate to say this because we only get so many like warm months here, but the knitter in me, and I think just like, I don't know, are you either a warm weather person or a cool weather person? Sometimes I wonder if that has something to do, like, you know, with your background, and that your family came from people who were cold weather people, or your family came from people who were warm weather people. I wonder, because I really prefer cool weather and knitting and wearing sweaters and being outside in cooler weather. If I could live somewhere that was like 65 degrees, 60 to 65 degrees year round, I would love that. But alas, I do not. And here I am sweating in Chicago, which I also love. We live really close to the beach, Lake Michigan, so we go to Lake Michigan all the time, and I really enjoy doing that with my kids, and I am very thankful for where we live and the community that we live in and all of those things, but I wish it was a bit cooler, more temperate. Okay. So that's all that I have for work, or for finished objects. As far as works in progress, I have, last episode I talked about the buttons that I bought to make cardigans for my kids for family pictures this fall. I also ended up acquiring the yarn to make those cardigans. I'm using the Holger cardigan by Petiteknit for both of them, because I already own it and because it's a great pattern. I love Holger, the whole Holger Olga series. I have knit so many of them at this point. I just finished the Holger cardigan for my older son that I knit out of Juniper Moon, Patagonia. And so I'm just jumping right back into it. I'm starting with the smaller size, which is a 3/4 for my 2-year-old. And I cast on with petiteknit, which is also the recommended yarn for this and is one of my favorite yarns to use. Petiteknit is just amazing. It's relatively affordable. It knits up so nice. I hear people talk about petiteknit being a rustic yarn, and I suppose if you're very sensitive to wool, that I could see this like maybe being scratchy to some, but it just softens so much once you block it and you wear it, and it really is just an amazing, affordable workhorse yarn. Amazing for kid knits. Like, don't shy away from this to knit for children because it's not superwash. Buy it for kid knits because it cleans up so nicely and it's soft enough for both of my kids. Neither one of them have complained about this being itchy or anything like that, and I don't feel that it's itchy either. I love it. This yarn is an acquisition also, so I'll talk about that in the acquisition spot. But I got it this month and then started knitting with it right away because I really want to get on top of some of my like planning knits, which is like the baby stuff and then these sweaters for my kids for our family pictures. So I cast this on. Now I just need to do arms and the button band and collar, and then I get to put those fun buttons on. So I'm really hopeful that for my July video that I have one finished cardigan to show you, and then that I have been able to start the other one. And I just really love this yarn. The color is 2650, which is like a gray beige heather. It's just like a perfect neutral. I have no notes. Really truly no notes. I'm knitting this with the recommended needles, following the pattern exactly. Yeah, I don't know what to say except it's here. I can't wait to put the buttons on. I'm really, really, really excited to put the buttons on. Because of the different sizes of the buttons, I think I'm going to have to like do everything except the button band, and then like do the collar, do the half of the other side, not the side with the holes, do the other side, and then block it and lay it out, and then really plan out where I want each button to go, because I think I'm going to have to do the buttonholes different sizes for each one because the buttons are so different. So that will be interesting too. I will be excited to share that with you to see how it goes and if it works out the way that I hope it will. But yeah, I'm just so excited about this. I can't wait to see my kids in them, and I hope that they like them and that they will wear them. They are usually very excited about things that I knit for them. I include them in the process from the beginning, basically, and I tell them what I'm knitting, that I'm knitting it for them. If that's something that you would be interested in, like a video about kid knits, like yarns that I recommend, patterns that I recommend, and then just overall like the process of how to involve your children, tips and tricks, I think that that's something that I would feel really enthusiastic about putting together. So if that's something that you would be interested in seeing, I will do that. I have kind of on the docket for like a bonus video, putting together something similar but for socks. So I'm excited for that and to share that with you, and I think it would be fun to do a kid one too, if you're into kid stuff. Okay, next is an update on my languishing whip from last month. I had this goal that I was going to finish this languishing whip last month. I was going to finish my Lakes cardigan and my languishing whip, and I did finish my Lakes cardigan, but my languishing whip, I only got to kind of one of the benchmarks that I had set for myself, was that I needed to finish knitting the ball of yarn that was currently connected to the needles, and then after that ball was done, I was going to connect the next one, do the hem, or the bottom, like bind off, before I started picking up for the double knitting. So I'm at that point where I need to join the ball and then finish, and I just haven't done it because I need to pick up the pattern, or I think that I bought it directly from the website and not through Ravelry, so I don't have it on my Rabbit app, and I knit mostly on the go, and so I like to have it on my phone, and so I can't find the pattern, and I think I might just buy it again through Ravelry so that I can have it in my app, so I can look at it on my phone, because I'm not working on this simply because I don't have the pattern, which is kind of dumb. But I either need to find it in my email and print it out again, or I need to get it on my Ravelry and work on it. But I'm feeling good about it. I think it'll be done by the end of the summer, which I know is not like the ideal time to be wearing it, but maybe because we usually end up having a pretty warm September. It will be it's also knit out of merino. So I feel like it will be fine to have it as something for the fall. It's the story I'm gonna tell myself, and it only matters to me. Are you invested in this? Is anyone? Okay. So anyways, it's still my languishing whip. It's still the piece that I'm concentrating on for that goal, and we'll see where I'm at next month. I think that this has kind of taught me that, like, you knit what you're excited about. Like, I could have spent all that time that I was like knitting the baby sweater, knitting the hat, like I could have spent it on this, but I just didn't want to. So it'll be interesting to see once this is done if I even like it. And I think I've even mentioned that I might over dye it, because why did I pick cream colored yarn? I think I did it because that's the color that she is wearing in the photo, and I thought that it would be the most versatile color, when in reality is this TMI? It's probably TMI. I use a natural deodorant, and the natural deodorant, like, I don't even remember. If you don't use a natural deodorant, do you still get armpit stains? Like, pretty much all of my t-shirts end up with these, like, natural deodorant, like, armpit stains. And they wash out in the washing machine every single time, in, like, my cotton t-shirts. But I'm not gonna wash this every single time that I wear it. So, is it gonna get stained from... Maybe because it's like a tank with no armpit touching the fabric, it won't. But then if you're sweaty and it drips, Wait, I'll stop talking about it. But it's something I've been thinking about. Like, am I even going to wear this when it's done because of the color? I don't know. So I've been thinking about dyeing it. I've been wanting to dye it. Probably like a brown. Or maybe like a blue. Probably brown. Seems more usable. But so a little update, no real update. I've knit like 2 inches on this, and yeah, that's it. My next piece is my franken sock, which I also feel like I am embarrassingly not very far on. I used to consider myself to be like a prolific sock knitter, knitting socks all the time, and now because I like knit for work, teach knitting, I just think that like the time that I was previously knitting socks is now used for other things. I also would always knit socks at the playground with my kids, and now that they are older, 2 and almost 4, I have to really be so mindful and paying attention to them constantly, that I found that I just can't knit at the playground as much as I used to be able to, because my older son would always stay quite close to me, and my younger son was not particularly mobile, so he would also stay close to me because he was stuck there. So I am very happy that they are becoming more confident and comfortable to leave me and go play, but it is cutting into my knitting time because I just don't have that like uninterrupted knitting time at the playground anymore, because I'm really actively paying attention to them and assisting them, not really physically assisting them, but encouraging them to go up a ladder by themselves or try new things or whatever. So I just can't sit and knit like I used to. And yeah, it's good and bad. So this is my franken sock, and it is a combination of 2 sock patterns. One is the Ruffles Forever sock, which is a pattern by the girl who likes to purl, my friend Charlotte, with this beautiful, amazing, super intense ruffle. And then I am combining that with the Comfort Core sock by Summer Lee, and I am modeling these after an athletic sock that I have that I really enjoy, and wanted to have a hand knit pair to see if I liked them also. So that's what I'm doing here, and just kind of taking the pressure off of myself to knit. At the beginning of the year, I had made this goal that I was going to knit from stash sock set every single month, and I kind of planned out my whole year of socks, and I have knit 1 pair from that plan, and it just is what it is. I'm taking the pressure off of myself. Sometimes you pivot. Here's my pivot. I'm not knitting as many socks as I was before. This is only my 3rd pair of socks this year, which usually I would have twice as many as that at this point. At the end of June, I would have done a pair of socks every month, if not even like more than that. So it is what it is, and here is the little bit of progress that I have made. I'm just doing the texture pattern on the foot right now, and once this is done, I will finish up the toe, and then I honestly might take a little break from these. I've never done that where I've knit like 1 sock and then not knit the other right away, but I think think I'm just not feeling very inspired, even though I love both of these patterns and I think I will really, really, really love the finished product. Sometimes, I don't know, I think I just need some like really fun, bright, punchy yarn to make me feel excited. Or maybe a colorwork sock. Colorwork sock is on my sock bingo card this year. I'd really like to do a colorwork sock, so maybe I'll do that next. I think I just need to really find something that makes my heart sing and work on that. And a cheerful sock to knit for the summer, I think, would be really nice. So that's my plan. Here it is. I'm knitting it in Stannis Garden Sisu, in one of the brown colors. And yeah, trying to think if there was anything else. I do have 2 other works in progress that I have previously talked about that I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to mention them right now, but I'm not really going to talk about them today because there has been 0 progress on them. I have not even picked them up since I last spoke to you. So the Brambly Mitts by Annabelle Williams and the Northland Sweater by petiteknit are both kind of snoozing right now. And I think I just need to like finish this languishing whip, finish this sock, get some of those things done before I pick those other ones up again. I think it was premature for me to cast those things on because I just wasn't quite really ready for them. I might even frog the Brambly Mitts and just put them on pause and restart them in the fall because I don't think I'm going to get to them anytime soon. But I do want to work on the Northland Sweater for my husband because I would love for our whole family to be in a hand knit for our photos this fall. That's my goal. I would love to do that. So I do want to work on that for him and hopefully get that finished. Before pictures this fall, which I think is reasonable. I think I could do it because I have recently released my fall classes for or kind of starting fall for August and September, and I'll include that list here for anyone that is local to me in Chicago that might be interested in taking a class with me, especially if you have never knit before. I really, really, really love teaching people how to knit, and I think that I have some really great classes coming up this fall that I am excited about, and some of them are filling up pretty fast. So if you're interested, you want to knit in real life, you want to take a class, you want to be a part of the knitting community here, which has just been so wonderful and I feel really lucky to be a part of, then definitely check out my class list. You can find the link on my Instagram also, see what I'm offering, and consider taking a class with me. So yeah. But anyways, I don't have many acquisitions this month, which is like by design. You saw my May video, you know I bought so much yarn in May. It was kind of insane. I didn't want to do that again. The first acquisition that I'm going to show you was I purchased at the very end of May. There is a yarn shop that I love in Michigan that is near my parents' home, that I'm on their email list, and they were having a 30% off the entire store promotion going on, and that is where I saw that they had the Peer Gynt. And so I bought them out of their Peer Gynt. I figured 30% off, I'm gonna buy it at full price anyways. I know I'm gonna knit with it. I know I love it. So I was like, I'll buy any color that they have that I like. And this was the only color that I found that was worth purchasing to me. So it's the light gray beige heather. I got 6 or 7 skeins. I bought them all. everything that they had. And I figured it was enough that I could either get myself started on a sweater, or I could use it to knit the sweaters for my kids, and I'll just buy the rest as needed. So I did that. I got 7 skeins of this, and then I also wanted to try, I love Rosa Pomar. I have tried a few of the yarns, but I have not tried the Brusca yet. And so I got 2 skeins of the Rosa Pomar Brusca in the color 3C, which is this, like, you know, swampy green color. I got 2 of these with the intention of using them to make another hat for my husband for the winter. He has been really proving himself to be knit-worthy. So I feel excited to knit more stuff for him. So I got 2 of these to knit a hat for him. And then my last yarn acquisition was actually gifted to me by one of my students. And she gave me a whole bag of this classic Elite yarns, soft linen. It's a 30% baby alpaca, 35% wool, 35% linen. It's 50 grams, 137 yards, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 balls of this. She told me that she had originally bought it to make some gifts for some of her family members a very long time ago, and like it was some funny story about how she bought it to make things for like all of her nieces and nephews, and one of them had just like graduated college or something recently, which was supposed to like signify how old the yarn was, that she had bought it to like make something for them as children. So she was going through her stash and she realized that she probably wasn't going to use this, and she offered it to me, and it came to me at the perfect time because the Althea top was just released, and I think that this yarn will be perfect for that. I had seen that pattern teased for a while and was really excited about it, but didn't really have anything that I felt fit from my stash. And then Norma gave this to me. Thank you, Norma. And I'm going to knit the Althea top with it. I also thought that maybe I would like knit a t-shirt with it. So we'll see. We'll see what this becomes. But for now, I am thinking the Althea top. And this is something that I would probably cast on fairly soon for myself. So I could try to get it done for summer, end of summer, similar to my camisole number 5. Yeah, so very light on the acquisitions for yarn this month, which was by design. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on yarn this month because I spent a bunch of money on yarn last month. But I am also now going to add in some sewing stuff that I've been doing recently. I have been sewing about as long as I have been knitting, or that I learned to sew at around the same time that I learned to knit. I had a grandparent that taught me how to do both of them, and I ended up sewing a lot longer than I knit as a child, just because sewing was easier for me in that I didn't really have to have any instructions. I could just do it on my own. So I did it a lot more and a lot longer. So I am a bit more of an experienced sewist than I was knitter, but now I would say I'm a more experienced knitter than sewist. I had not really used patterns before as a kid. Everything that I made was self-drafted. I had like a bust that I used that my parents had gifted me, and that is how I made the majority of my clothes, just by designing things on paper, making a muslin, making it for myself. So I'm learning how to read patterns now, paper patterns for sewing. And I have to go get all my sewing stuff. Pause. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So I feel like everyone and their mom talks about the Pamona pants. Anna Allen pattern. Everybody has made the Pamona pants. They're like a good intro pant. So I thought, what could go wrong? I decided to make a pair of shorts first. Just because of like size. I've always felt like with sewing patterns that when I pick a pattern based off of my measurements, that they always end up being so big and they don't fit me the way that I want them to. So I just thought I would pick the size based off the pattern recommendation. I would make that size and I would do it in shorts so that I could see how they fit, what I liked, what I didn't like, make changes, move on. So I used a dress that I found at Goodwill shopping with my mom when I went and saw her in May, and I cut it up to make my Pamona shorts. And you know, I feel pretty proud of myself. It took me a long time to put the pattern together, honestly. I'm not crazy about the taping of a printed pattern at home. Not my favorite thing. I need to find a better way to do that, I think. But it took me a while to do that. I love how the pattern like tells you how to do everything. Does that sound so stupid to say? I just had never had that kind of support sewing before, and it's very similar to like the support and guidance that you get in a knitting pattern, and I just really appreciated it. I found these super easy to make, just like everyone says, and I'm really happy with myself that I made them. I'm proud of myself for doing this because I was afraid to do it. I will say that I am disappointed with the fit of them. I feel like they fit like a diaper. I chose the size 14 based off of my measurements, and I'm not exactly sure if it's the 14 that wasn't great or if it is that I need to shorten the rise, because I have to like fold the waistband over and still they just feel too big. So my plan is to do another pair of Pamona shorts, shorten the rise, see how it goes. I might just go to the thrift store and pick up like a very cheap cotton sheet if I can find one and test them out again on a cotton sheet and just see how it works out. Because I really had to finagle these shorts out of a dress, even though the dress was like a size 3X or something, much larger than what I thought I would end up needing. I did have to kind of like patch some of the fabric together. I don't know if you can really even tell, but there's a piece here that I had to add into, and it's like in the crotch so you can't even see it, but the dress had this little pocket and I wanted to keep the pocket on the pants or on the shorts as a place to put my insulin pump. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and so clothes being, you know, it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy making my own clothes, is because I can make them work for me. And so for me, I always need a pocket to put my insulin pump in. That never changes. I always have my insulin pump. And so this little pocket was perfect. So it's just something I love about making your own clothes, is that you really not only tailor the fit, but also like the accessibility for your lifestyle. So I was feeling super smug about these, and I'm just disappointed that I don't know how much I'm going to wear them, because they aren't comfortable to wear. I feel like I'm fussing with them. So I'm gonna do them again. I'm gonna try it again and see how it goes. But these are my pamona shorts. And I also did the longer inseam, like the 5-inch inseam. I think it's like either 3-inch or 5-inch. I did the 5-inch inseam. Usually I do a shorter inseam because I am short, but someone on the internet told me that you need a longer inseam right now. So I thought that this was a good test to see how I liked them, or how that would work for me. And I'm not sold. I might be a short inseam person, regardless of what everyone on the internet says. I don't have any sewing whips, but I do have sewing acquisitions, some fabric acquisitions, and a lot of them are thrifted, which is kind of why I'm talking about it here, because I think that it's fun. I really enjoy thrifting, and I'm just assuming that my audience, that you also enjoy thrifting. So I'm going to share some of the fabrics that I bought through thrift, and then some that I bought online also. So I'll start first with the ones that I bought online. This is double checker Indian cotton from Merchant and Mills. I also got this through the Farm to Needle sale online. The 30% off applied to their fabric purchases as well, and this fabric was already on sale, so the deal that I got on this was insane. I plan to make the skyline dress out of this. I have enough fabric to make a skyline. I'm really excited. I think that that will probably be the next thing that there's 2 things that I really want to make urgently. And so I think I'm going to do a skyline dress, because I will wear the shit out of it this summer. I think it would be really comfortable for chasing my kids around, and a good transition piece into fall. And I love this fabric. I was mostly a Joann fabric and like a thrift fabric person, which, you know, usually thrifted fabric, you're buying like quilting cotton or whatever that was purchased from Joann's. I haven't really worked with linen before, some like jersey and stretch jersey, but mostly cotton is what I was sewing with, and never anything like this kind of like fancy. And wow, like I get the hype for the expensive fabric makers. It, like, washing it in the washing machine and just seeing how it came out, it's beautiful. The texture is beautiful. It's so nice. It was worth it. I'm glad I got it on sale so I could try it, but like, I'm also sold that, you know, just like with knitting, sometimes investing in a more expensive fabric or fiber will get you like the intended look that you want, and so it's worth it to invest in it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. My next 2 acquisitions are color I bought together, and I will say the same thing about how they wash up, is just like so insanely nice. I saw Kaden Naughton, who is a sewing pattern designer on Instagram, post a set that she made in, I don't know if it was this exact blue, because this is the Forest Forage Daisies fabric from Fabulism, and it comes in a bunch of colors, and they have a couple of blue colors, but she had a light blue in this daisy print that I just thought was so beautiful. She made a set out of it, and I was like, I need that also. So I kind of impulse purchased 6 yards of this with the intention of making a set. So she did her own pattern design, which was the picnic set, and I already own a pattern that is kind of similar to that I would hack into a dress. So that's my plan. And I also got 3 yards. So this color here is called Droplet. The blue is Droplet. The brown is Homestead. And it's like a brown with a navy undertone to it. It's just so beautiful. And my plan is to make a Celine blouse out of this. And the Celine is also the pattern that I would use to hack into a dress for this one. So I would be doing both of those with these. So these are my purchased, like, more expensive purchased, and I bought both of the daisy fabrics from Ambiver Fabric, which is in Washington, and they offered a discount for your first purchase, which is why I bought a little bit more of the blue than I think I needed, like pattern suggestion wise, because I just figured it would be nice to have a little, like, a extra yard for wiggle room, and that I would use it for something else if I ended up with a significant extra amount. So yeah. Next are my thrifted fabrics. I got this green, like, very heavyweight cotton fabric. I think it's a tablecloth, actually. When I picked it up, I thought, oh, this is probably a curtain, but there were no curtain slip thing. There's no curtain channel. So I think it's a tablecloth. And my plan is to make some pants, possibly a jacket. But I was thinking that this might be a nice laine pant, because it's a little more structured with, like, the cargo pockets, some of those details I thought might be kind of nice. Or I might look for another kind of utility pant pattern. That's my plan for this. And it's a lot. It's a massive tablecloth. So I think that it will go far. And then this I got thrifting, and it is like a vintage beach towel. I'm assuming it's a vintage beach towel. I guess I'm seeing a few stains on here that I didn't realize before. I might throw it through the wash again. I've already washed it, and treat those stains and see if they come out. But my plan for this, see, it's either a beach towel because the ends are serged, or it was fabric that someone bought, and maybe they just serged the ends to be kind before they donated it, so it didn't all unravel. But my plan is to make a beach set out of this. We live so close to the beach, go to the beach all the time with my kids. So I thought a pair of shorts or like a little top would be really nice in this. Something to throw on as we're going to or leaving the beach. Yeah, that's my plan. If it doesn't seem like there's enough fabric to make a set that I want, then I might use it to make something for my kids, was my other thought, like a hooded towel or something, something nice for them, or like long sleeve, something with a zip in the front, for them to go to and from the beach. So that's my plan for that. And then the last thing, which I like screamed when I saw it at Goodwill, and I feel like these two things came from the same person. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but that's the vibe I'm getting. This is a vintage, like, has to be from the 70s. Has to be. Sleeping bag. And I feel like it's just kind of screaming to be a coat. You know, I don't know if people are still like into the whole quilted coat vibe, or if we're so tired and over that, but I'm not personally. I would love to have one. And so now I am just trying to decide. I have a jacket that I really love the fit of, and so I'm trying to decide if I'm just going to cut pieces to match that jacket, or if I'm going to go on the hunt to find something that I like more or better. Yeah. So those are kind of some introductory, yes, this is a knitting podcast, but like it seems to be a trend that a lot of knitters sew in the summer. And we all seem to be okay with it. So here I am dipping my toe in. That this is also going to end up being some sewing content. Yeah. Every time that I sit down to make one of these, I tell myself I'm only going to talk for 30 minutes, and I feel like I was speaking very quickly, and I'm curious to see how long this ends up being, because I film with my phone, so I have no idea how long I've been sitting here talking to you. But I just want to reiterate and say thank you to everyone who watches my videos, to everyone who is following me on Instagram, to everyone who supports me by taking my classes or by sharing my classes. I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy right now. And I'm really thankful for this whole knitting community. And when I was thinking about whether or not I was going to join people on YouTube and start a podcast, I just thought, like, I have nothing to add. And, you know, it's like probably fair to say that this is no different than any other podcast that you might watch. It might not be, you know, more special or more interesting or anything like that, but I have still felt very welcomed and surprised that people want to sit and watch me ramble. And I'm excited to continue making videos for everyone to watch, and as a little snapshot in time for myself, I guess, to watch later. So I just want to say thank you again. And if you are local to the Chicago area, I would really say please follow me on Instagram. I am always offering opportunities to meet up and to knit with other people. and those have been so fun to do. And so if you are local to Chicago and you want to come and knit with us, please do follow me on Instagram and come to one of the events. And yeah, I'll see you next month.